Hey everybody, Kneecap here, and this is my full Hallows End guide. It is mostly for Alliance, as that's what I am, but hopefully anybody can follow along and have fun with it. And I'm going to start in Dalaran. I'm just going to trick-or-treat at the end here. You're going to get your trick-or-treat achievement the first time you do that. You're going to open up your candy, and you'll get that achievement as well. And then I go to the other inn inside Dalaran, and you're going to want to trick-or-treat there too. You're going to want to trick-or-treat as much as possible because you need the items from trick-or-treating. From here, I'm going to go to Stormwind. Horde, you have to go to your city. Trick-or-treat in Stormwind. Gather up the quests in Stormwind. There's quite a few quests. It's actually going to send you outside of the major city to gather up even more quests. Something important to note is I have a debuff where I was a little frog, cannot mount while you are tricked. When you trick or treat, you can either get a costume or like a debuff, and obviously it's better to get the costume than the debuff. So I'm going to gather up all of these quests out here, and then first I'm actually going to do the quest that I think is kind of cool at least. It's a little bit long for what you have to do, but you're going to ride on a witch's broom, and you're going to go to your opposing faction city, and you're going to drop stink bombs down. So you can see I'm actually still a spider on top of this broom with this witch. Kind of cool that I stayed in costume while I did this. And you're just going to fly around. You don't have to hit NPCs. You don't have to hit players. You just have to drop the bombs. It doesn't matter. So that way, if you are like a low pop server and maybe there's not any alliance to hit, you don't have to hit anybody. Don't worry about it. You just have to hit the button 25 times and drop it. That's all you have to do for that. Should be finishing up here. Come back to Stormwind. Turn this quest in, and now I'm going to head down to Goldshire. Doesn't have to be Goldshire, even if you're Alliance, whatever, outside town. I actually got there right as the Headless Horseman was getting defeated, so I got that achievement. He drops a jack-o'-lantern that you can interact with and turn in a quest for that as well. So what you're going to do after I trick or treat is now you have a quest to like put out fires, and there is no fire here, so I go ahead and I queue up for the Headless Horseman inside the dungeon. No fires to put out to speak of, so I'm going to go back head up towards Stormwind. There's a quest to interact with the bonfire in front of your Wicker Man, so you just simply interact with the bonfire. That's done. You can turn that quest in as well. Turning in quests everywhere, and I'm going to head back down to Goldshire because I actually heard the Headless Horseman start yelling, so I figured that was a good time to try to get my fires done. I actually don't get them all on this run, but I mean, if you can get them all done, great. And there's a quest as well to stop the Headless Horseman. It's kind of a daily quest that you can grab from your NPC there. So put out the fires, and now the Headless Horseman, or an image of him, is going to come down, and you just simply have to defeat him. Pretty easy, especially with all those people there, huh? And so now I just want to finish my last couple fires. I don't get a chance to. I noticed that there's some fire out here you can put out. It's kind of a training session thing, so you can grab water and put the fires out this way as well. And all of a sudden, for no reason, the fires just stopped lighting, at least for me. So I decided, whatever, I'm leaving. I'm not going to waste time. I'm going back to Stormwind to keep doing these quests that I have. So the first thing I decided to do in the city is to put out the stink bombs. Obviously, we dropped the stink bombs on the opposing faction earlier. Well, they're dropping them on us too. Now we have an item that cleans up the stink, and you just go around the city, and it should be plentiful. I'm not sure how it works on low pop servers, but I imagine there still should be some stink bombs for you to put out, hopefully. You come in here, you realize that the Innkeeper has a quest. It's just a thing to emote at the Innkeeper, and it's to get the different candies of the different races. My queue for Headless Horseman popped, so I went ahead and accepted that. Come in to do the Headless Horseman. It's a very easy fight. You DPS down the boss. His head pops off. You kill the head as much as you can. Head pops back on. There is no way to just one-shot it or anything like that. It's just going to keep happening. He gets a little bit stronger as it goes on, but it's generally very easy to do. He can drop the mount, of course, and I believe he can also drop the Hallowed Helm, which you will need for an achievement as well. And he can drop any kind of cool Halloween type items that you could get from other places as well. And of course, you'll get the achievement for defeating him as well. As I am back in Stormwind now, I can turn in that quest and start a new quest line. And this quest line is going to have me go to the harbor first. I have no idea where you have to go first, my Horde friends here, but For Alliance, you're going to have to go to the harbor and go inside this ship. I felt this is kind of ironic doing this as a spider, because now the next part is I have to follow a trail of spiders. So there'll be a trail of spiders on the ground that you can see. Can't really see them in the video, moving a little bit too fast. Maybe see them every once in a while. I actually walked the whole way just because I was a spider and kind of felt it was ironic instead of flying, which, as you can see, most people are flying. And you just follow all the spiders all the way back to the auction house. And I think it's auctioneer Fitch maybe. And you just had to talk to him, and he's going to tell you, hey, it wasn't me. Go talk to this guy instead. I don't want no trouble. So I fly over to the Dwarven District and go inside here, and there's this guy. He's going to give me a little bit more information, tell me what I need to do. And what he wants is 5 crystal vials, 2 strange dust, and 5 death nettle. The crystal vials you can buy from probably any goods vendor. I actually buy it right from my mammoth. The strange dust you can buy from an enchanting vendor, or I just bought 2 from the auction house real quick, made somebody 14 gold. It's cheaper from the vendor. The death nettle you'll just pick like you're a herbalist. Even if you don't have herbalism, you can just go ahead and pick that where it's designated on the map. How it's on the north side of Stormwind. I know it's like just outside Orgrimmar, I believe, for the Horde, and you can just pick that as if you had herbalism, even though you don't. Grab my strange dust out of my mailbox that I bought, and go in and turn in this quest. Simple as that. Next, they're going to send me to the catacombs, because if you're an alliance, of course we're getting sent to the catacombs. We always have to go to the catacombs. You'd think they would just close off the catacombs. Nothing good ever happens in the catacombs. So we have to go all the way down to the catacombs. Again, at this point, you can just kind of follow the spiders at this point, and there's going to be a little encounter down here. It's very simple. I didn't really even hardly do anything. I think I one-shot everything. So, I mean, it's something low levels can do too, of course. And from the catacombs, you are sent to turn this back in. I'm turning in at the innkeeper in the trade district. Well, not the innkeeper, but the guy behind the innkeeper. And after you turn this in, you can actually talk to the little box next to him there, and you'll get a creepy crate pet at that point, which is pretty cool. So you can go ahead and do that. I forgot to do it at that point, and I come back and do it later. I go outside, turn in more quests, and head back down to Goldshire again. And this time, hopefully, to finish up my little fire training. Those training things were not done. Luckily, the village was on fire. Not normally lucky if the village is on fire, but in this case, we'll make an exception. And go ahead and get my last couple buckets out on these fires, and that'll complete the fire training quest. At this point, I decide it's time to go to the opposing faction city and douse the Wicker Man. So I start flying north. I stop in Karanos. At this point, you see me on the Headless Horseman's mount. And while I'm in Karanos, I'm going to trick or treat. I'm throwing this in here just to remind you need to be trick or treating, because you're going to need certain items anyways. So you might as well trick or treat every time you get a chance. And if you haven't done it yet at all, you're going to have to stop at a lot of places. Once I get to Ironforge, I'm going to come in here and trick or treat. You also need to get the candies. You slash flexed in Stormwind. Here you're going to slash chicken at the little dwarf. I don't know why you would call it dwarf a chicken. I don't know what that's all about. The other ones kind of made more sense to me than the dwarf one. Although I guess you don't know why you... yeah, humans are kind of known for flexing, I guess. Anyways, that'll grab the candy there. And at that point, I start on my flight back up to the Undercity again. Oh, actually first, I forgot the other one is in here as well, the gnomish one. And you're going to slash train at the gnome. And after you slash train, you can get your piece of candy from the gnome as well. I stopped in the wetlands. Again, trick or treat every time you can. If you haven't done them all, obviously you're going to hit every single one on your way to anywhere you're going. You're going to make sure you hit every single one. And you can look at that inside your achievement log and see exactly where you need to go. So as I'm finally arriving up in the Undercity here, I just have to douse their Wicker Man, same as the Alliance Wicker Man that's outside of Stormwind. So you saw that earlier. If you're a Horde, you just find a safe place to land, hopefully. I kind of land right here. I tried to do it on my mount, won't let you. Land here behind, douse the Wicker Man, mount up, leave, don't cause any trouble. That's probably the best way to do it. At this point, I'm going to teleport back to Dalaran. And in Dalaran, I'm just here to take the portal to Darnassus, because I need the last piece of candy. And So I'm going to go over to the Darnassus Innkeeper, Trick or Treat here. For here you need to dance with the Night Elf, and that'll give you your last piece of candy that you need. And at that point, I'm going to go back to Stormwind and turn it out, grab the creepy crate that I forgot to get earlier. Then come outside, I have multiple quests to turn in. There's the achievement for spoiling the fun for the Horde. Use a toothpick to get an achievement. You have different wands from trick-or-treating, and using those wands is a part of an achievement as well. They actually need to be used on you. When they're used on you, I think there's 8 different ones. Again, that you can track that in your achievement log. When they're all used on you, you will get the achievement for that. You also see me eating the tricky treats right now. You eat those until you throw up, and that's the out with it achievement. So you just spam eat tricky treats until you throw up, basically. The weighted jack-o'-lanterns that I was using, you have to throw those on every different race. Again, you can track that in your achievement book. Nerd Rage, let's go over all the achievements. Nerd Rage is you get nerds as candy, you eat them, you get a buff, you have to kill 10, you have to get 10 HKs while you have Nerd Rage. Out with it is throwing up from Trick or Treat. Savior of Hollow's End is defending one of your little towns like Goldshire. Trick or Treat is just trick or treating. Check Your Head is putting the jack-o'-lanterns, weighted jack-o'-lanterns on every single different race's head. Sinister Calling is getting a Sinister Squashling and the Hallowed Helm. Both of those can drop off of the Headless Horseman. Tricks and Treats of Azeroth is trick-or-treating at every single place listed. It's a lot, and it does include the Outlands as well. You have to look in your achievement book to see every single spot where to go. It's a lot to do. It's a lot of flying. Rotten Hallow is spoiling Hallow's End for your opposing faction. As you saw me do that, that didn't take long. Sparkling Smiles, just using a toothpick. Masquerade is having all of the wands put on you. And Bring Me the Head of Oh Wait is just killing the Headless Horseman. That's about it for Hallow's End. It's pretty quick. Everyone thumbs up and sub, and have a good one.